and welcome to Undercommon Taste. This is a podcast where we create and discuss homebrew content for tabletop RPGs.
Then stirs the feeling infinite, so felt in solitude, where we are the least alone.
I'm Ian Woodworth. I'm joined by my co-host James Daly, and today we are rejoined by a special guest, Kat.
Hi!
Who is back to discuss this year's new Solo But Not Alone bundle, as well as the main point of our conversation today is going to be Kat's Carta SRD, which is a system for creating, is it primarily or exclusively solo games?
Primarily? There's nothing in the rules says a dog can't play basketball.
Fair.
Good enough. Now
I'm going to watch Airbud, thanks.
So, Kat, welcome back to Undercommon Taste.
Yes, thank you for coming back.
I am so glad to be back. I had a super great time last time. I was re-listening to that instead of working yesterday, and it was a wonderful experience.
It's always good to do things instead of working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it was a good episode last time, and the monster mashup was amazing.
Yes.
And let's hope when we get to the end of this episode, we can repeat that sort of magic.
I love the counterflit. It is a perfect baby.
Yeah.
It was. It was great.
That was definitely one of our better ones.
I think what really struck me about it was that it was the host that was the little shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the parasite was truly very
Just along
well
for the
behaved.
ride.
Yeah. That was very delightful to me, even a year later.
So, as we mentioned, to start off with, you organize the Solo But Not Alone bundle every year.
Yeah.
It has not come out yet as of recording, but it will be up and open by the time we release.
Yeah, hopefully.
All good plans, right?
Fingers crossed.
Truly, I'm waiting on all of my participants. But we were a little bit delayed getting started, so I only sent out the approval emails today. So I'm not ready to hunt people for sport yet.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. And unfortunately, I did not get done with layout on mine in time to submit it this year, but it will be in bundle number 6.
Yeah.
I am saying this right now so that I have it on record for my accountability buddies for me to actually get that done.
Yeah.
So if you would please, in case listeners are not familiar with the Solo But Not Alone bundle, can you give us a little bit of an explanation of what this bundle is, what sort of things you're going to find in it, and which charity it is going to be supporting this year?
I can do that. I can absolutely do that. Solo But Not Alone 5, this is the 5th year of Solo But Not Alone, is a big old stack of single-player capable TTRPGs, and I'll kind of explain why I say that in a moment, with all proceeds benefiting a mental health charity. This year, like last year, we're going to be benefiting Take This, a charity that specializes in mental health supports and activism in the gaming space. One of their favorite projects of mine is the AFK Rooms that provides people who may be having mental health episodes at conventions or in convention spaces to access mental health supports, kind of a quiet, chill space, and everything they need to make sure they're going to be okay, which for some people could make the difference between them participating or not participating in like essential career building events.
I love that. I've done a small handful of conventions, and honestly, being able to find a quiet room somewhere where I can twitch or not twitch or whatever I need to do can be amazing. And if I didn't think that there would be such a space for me to find, I probably wouldn't attend those conventions.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, really, that is a make or break thing for my attendance generally, because I can do humanity in doses, but large groups of humanity can overwhelm really fast.
Absolutely, they can. And this is a key accessibility issue for not only people with varying degrees of mental illness, but also neurodiverse people. People with any number of brains can find themselves overwhelmed in the chaotic space of a convention floor. And gaming and careers in gaming shouldn't be off limits to those people. They also have a lot of supports for people going through mental health crises. So while they're not explicitly a suicide prevention organization like we partnered with for the first 3 years. They're still very much doing the work to make sure that people facing mental illness have access to treatment.
And that's very, very important too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if all of your submitters actually provide you links for their games on time, or close enough to on time as to get the bundle out, how many games are we looking at this year?
We've got games from 91 different creators this year.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Is very exciting. And we have got, let's take a look here. We've got 108 games in here.
Okay.
So we've got over 100. It's not our highest watermark, but that's completely okay because when I tell you some of the things that are in here, absolutely staggering behavior.
Yeah, and I mean, really, these bundles are incredibly affordable. I don't know what the price of the bundle is going to be this year.
$10.
$10. So, I mean, yeah, $10 for 100 games is great. Now, last year's bundle, I really, really enjoyed. And I mean, was every game my flavor of game? No. Was there plenty for me to be absolutely happy with? Yes. Have I spent $10 on much worse and much, much less? Absolutely. Still looking at the live action Avatar The Last Airbender as my gold watermark of poorly spent money.
Oh yeah. And as usual, we have got such a wide variety of games that you're going to find something for you in here. You're absolutely going to, regardless of what it means for something to be quote unquote for you. And the bundle is valued at over $400. So buying these games individually is going to run you more than $10.
Oh, yeah. The thing that I really love about these charity bundles is the value that you get from them. I mean, I also like helping the charities that this is going to support, but the fact that all of these creators are basically taking money out of their own pockets by donating the proceeds from these sales to charity. And I forgot where I was going with this. I'm sorry. Because it's a great way to get your name out there as well as a creator. You put your game in somebody else's game library and maybe they play it, maybe they don't, but still it is there until that time whenever they're just scrolling through their library and they say, oh, that looks interesting. And then you have extra eyes on your work, which can, lead to additional sales further on down the line. And it's just a win-win for everybody. And I love that sort of feeling. You bring out the camaraderie of the TTRPG space. You get, players and creators and all of that together. This is a lot of word salad. I realize that, but it's just great all around.
Eat your salad. It's good for you.
Yeah, to kind of jump on Ian's idea there, that is another really good thing is you can buy this bundle of games that are really cheap. And again, you might not have time to, go out and play. You might not have a group of people you can play, but you can kind of work through the games because they are largely solo games. Or even if you're trying to make up your own game and you kind of run out of ideas, one, it's a great source for inspiration to kind of see what's out there. But then two, if you really if a game really clicks and you're like, oh my God, I love this game. Most of these creators have more than just one game out there. So you can go back and follow that creator back to their Twitch store and see what the other things they've created. So you can find a lot of resources and a lot of other games through this bundle as well.
Absolutely, you can. And I think to me, a huge draw is just you get to see. Not all these games are big. A lot of these games are little. Mm-hmm. So you get to see just this little tasting menu of what the TTRPG community is capable of. And some of these games are going to be very traditional. And some of these games are going to be super weird.
Yeah, and I love those ones.
Yeah, me too. And so you can just take a little bite. And if you enjoy what you taste, you're absolutely right. There's some weird fringe creator that you can track down.
Yeah. So I initially started last year. I was planning on working my way through the entire bundle. I did not get very far into the bundle, I will admit. I got, I think, 14 games in. But still, I mean, for the amount that I paid for the bundle, I think I paid $20 for the bundle. I tried to go a little bit extra just because of
Thank you.
the charity aspect of it. But the 14 games that I played in and of themselves were like $65 in value whenever I went back to leave reviews and stuff.
Nice.
And talking.
Well, and thank you for leaving reviews. I bet they loved that.
Whenever I play a game that I got off of itch, I always try to go and rate and review it.
That's model citizen behavior.
Well, it's also because I have games on itch and I want people to do that for me. So there's a little bit of there's a little bit of selfishness in my motivations, but
yeah, be the change you want to see in the world. Absolutely.
Yeah, but James talking about the weird stuff that you can find in these bundles sometimes. The weird one that was oddly satisfying for me to do from last year's bundle was roosting with your hot chicken boyfriend.
Oh, I'm so glad you checked that one out.
It was a guided meditation exercise, basically. And I was very skeptical going into it, but it just worked. I don't know what it was about it, but, cis hat white boy was okay roosting with his hot chicken boyfriend.
Yeah! Yeah! That's the light.
Yeah, and one of the other ones that I ended up playing and reviewing was Lost Among the Starlit Wreckage by Seamus Connolly.
Oh, dang, that's no joke, that one.
Oh, that one was really good too. And I'm in a couple of game design Discord channels that he happens to be in, and he had asked right before Thanksgiving, like, hey, does anyone want to, go through my doc and play test this and try it out? And I was like, yeah, sure, I can do that. Unfortunately, the holidays happened and I still haven't finished that. But it wasn't until I got down to the end when I saw the other works by this author where he put it at the bottom. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this guy. And it's his newest one, and I can't for the life of me remember the name of the game, but
Is it The Cog That Remains?
Yes, The Cog That Remains.
It is in this year's bundle.
Yeah.
Nice.
The Cog That Remains is so good.
Yeah?
It's a mecha game, but you're not playing as the pilot or the mecha. You are playing as the chief engineer who is in charge of maintaining the mecha.
Ooh.
And it is designed in such a way, I think it's using the Wretched and Alone system because it has the Jenga tower as part of the mechanics of it.
It's gonna end sad. Oh no.
It's designed to end sad.
Yeah, it's Wretched and Alone.
It's designed in such a way that more likely than not, the mecha will be destroyed before you reach the satisfying conclusion of the game.
I am so glad that we have talked about Wretched and Alone, because it's going to come up later.
Woohoo. Yeah.
So, do you care to go into a little more detail on that?
Well, when we talk about Carta, actually.
Okay.
Because Wretched and Alone was one of my big inspirations for making Carta.
Okay.
So
I can see the generational... What's the term I'm looking for?
Family resemblance?
Yes, the resemblance. Thank you.
Okay. I'm touched by that, because I really do love Chris Bissett's work. So
yeah, everything that I have seen of his is been, stellar. So
truly.
Right, so I'm pretty sure I asked you this last time with the Solo But Not Alone 4 bundle,
I'll be the judge of that.
Are there any games in this year's bundle that you are exceptionally excited to see in the bundle?
Yes, there are. Mandrake Sanctuary is in this year, and that is a game that I adore. I love Mandrake Sanctuary, and seeing it in Solo But Not Alone is so wonderful to me. It's one of those games, I talked last time about how much I love games that gamify stuff you do in the real world. And basically, long story short, is you're growing these little mandrakes, these little plant buddies.
Mm-hmm.
And what you do is every day you draw another little leaf or another little petal on them. If you have completed a certain task, depending on what kind of soil you have them in. So there are some that grow when you exercise or when you go to work, or there's some that grow when you just get through the day. So it's a very sweet game. I've played it. I raised a little rose buddy.
I like that. So I have a friend whose daughter's hitting that early teen stretch, and There are some task completion issues, we will politely say. However, something like this, I think, might be a good motivator to kind of like, hey, let's get some stuff. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like the advent calendar where you can pull the little door open, you get the little chocolate. I'm like, hey, I can add a little thing to my picture or my little critter. I think that could be something actually really feasible to work. I like it.
I love Mandrake Sanctuary, so I'm thrilled to see it in here. Another game that I am excited to see that I haven't played yet is Any % Tarot Fueled Speedrunning Action, in which you use a tarot deck to compete to hold the world's fastest time in a video game that doesn't exist, is the tagline.
All right.
I'm curious.
The graphic design is very vaporwave, very neon pink, very dynamic. It's so cool looking. Speaking of tarot games, Tangled Blessings is in this year, and that's kind of a big deal.
It's a great title.
It is a great game. I played that on Party of One with Jeff Stormer.
Cool.
Tangled Blessings is about going to like a magic academy, and you play it with a tarot deck, and it is either solo or 2-player. And my rule is single player capable, which means like a person has to be able to pick up your game and play it without needing another person. If you have more players than that possible, great, love it, awesome. But it has to be playable by a single person or have a single person mode. Tangled Blessings 2-player is an absolute blast. So.
Yeah, I like that single player capable. I mean, because sometimes you have this really good game, you kind of want to draw the people in or just kind of add that extra. But again, growing up, as a single kid, sometimes, again, I was talking earlier, my parents divorced. And so when I was with my family over the summers, I was the only child then. And so like I'd play board games by myself and then play both sides. So having a collection of single player games available is always a good thing to have, in my opinion. So yeah, I really do. And I appreciate that so much.
This year for the solstice, this is board game talk, board game corner. This year for the solstice, my adorable baby sister and my mom collaborated to get me the Monster Hunter World board game, which is single player capable. And I'm so excited because I'm so normal about Monster Hunter. Speaking of which, the third installment in my Monster Hunter TTRPGs is in this bundle.
Oh, nice.
Apex Predator, The Phantom Isles.
Oh, nice.
So if you're also normal about Monster Hunter, I've got a solo game in here for you.
Sure.
Awesome.
Normal. Toby Kadachi's in it.
With the biggest, glitteriest air quotes.
Yes.
Yeah. Regular, normal and regular.
Absolutely.
Listen, I named my pet after Toby Kadachi. Like, I'm normal about Monster Hunter.
Okay, so we've talked a bit about the bundle. The primary reason why we asked you back, promoting the bundle is a happy addition to our chat. The primary reason we asked you on was to talk about the SRD that you have created, a game engine for designing games. No?
I'm being a brat. Yeah, absolutely. I will.
So, Kat, if you would please, give us a quick rundown of what is Carta, and more generally for people who may not know what an SRD is, what is an SRD?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I can do that. I can do all of that. So Carta is a system resource document, is what SRD stands for. Carta is basically a toolkit to help a person build a single player. I describe it as a board game TTRPG hybrid because there's very much a physical tactile component to a Carta game. Have you ever played Betrayal at House on the Hill?
It is on my list of games to play.
It's so good.
I think I may have played that one once. I believe our mutual friend Aaron brought that to a holiday party one year.
It's so good. Another example of a game that inspired Carta, rather, is Zombies! !
Yes, I love that game. That was a lot of fun.
I've got fond memories of playing that game in a pub with my friends with very patient staff.
James, now that you mentioned that, I was getting titles crossed in my brain.
Okay.
Kat, you said Betrayal at House on the Hill.
Yeah.
My brain said The Haunting of Hill House, which is a different game.
They made a board game?
No, they didn't. That's why I was confused.
I just finished watching the show. Like, I loved the show.
Editing in here.
The title I was looking for was actually The Portal at Hill House, which is a cosmic horror solo journaling game. This is a prime example of why I probably shouldn't be recording after my ADHD meds have worn off for the day.
Yeah, Betrayal at House on the Hill and Zombies! Really inspired me because they have these fantastic sectioned boards. The boards are just like little cards that are shuffled and dealt out so that the quote-unquote board is a different pattern, a different arrangement of features every time.
Yeah, so like playing zombies, kind of especially playing through, if you've ever played like the original Diablo or Diablo 2, where every time the map was procedurally generated, it kind of reminds me of that. And like, if you're wanting to go through and make like a good hex crawl game, something like this is excellent for it.
Yeah, Zombies is very hex crawl and Betrayal is very TTRPG, like there's story elements in Betrayal.
Yeah.
That are like procedurally generated that then lead into story outcomes. That game's a masterpiece.
It was a really good game.
I adore it. In a card game, instead of making these fragments of a game board, you use playing cards. And then you write a prompt for each playing card so that the player turns them over, looks up the prompt, and then builds this board procedurally, like if they were playing Zombies or Betrayal.
Now, see, I like this too. And when you talk about like these prompts for creation, for like creative writing or for things, this also reminds me a lot of, and for the life of me, I always get the gentleman's name wrong. I believe it's John from Tale of the Manticore.
Yes.
His procedurally generated, his system, and I'm blanking on the name of that right now too.
Oh, but, yeah. Oh, geez.
Pendulum.
Pendulum, yes.
Yeah. So he has Pendulum, and then he has another thing that's kind of like a thing, but like you'll get a couple of words that is a prompt. And so with these, you have these cards so you can build up these tables, and it does really open up a wide realm of possibility, especially if you deal with writer's block or anything like that. You can use some of these things to kind of shake that loose. So this is a really fun tool to use.
Yeah, there are different modes. Carta is very heavy on the toolkit aspect of the SRD. So I included a breakdown of the basic mathematics of a deck of playing cards. So creators who are not as familiar with probabilities have them in front of them.
Oh, nice.
And things like a bigger board will make any individual outcome more likely to happen because you have more cards down.
Fair.
Yeah.
It'll make the game longer, smaller board, makes the game shorter. Picking out a card and adding it deliberately will not only make it so that is guaranteed to show up somewhere, like the monster cards in Apex Predator, but it also diminishes the randomness of the board as a whole, because that's a slot that's taken away from a random card. And I've got the breakdown of all of that in there. I've also got what I call prompt prompts, which is a list of 52 just like simple little prompts based on tarot, my other one, True Love, so that if a person is writing 52 prompts for an entire deck of cards, they can look and see, 2 of hearts, like romance or acceptance or love or something like that. And that can hopefully lead them down the right path.
No, I like that. And again, I love writing prompts. Now, in elementary school and middle school and even high school, honestly, I hated writing. I would read everything. I hated writing. And I don't know, maybe the prompts always felt stale, but as an adult, I see more like prompts for creative writing. I'm like, no, prompts are great for just give me a quick idea, something way off base that you wouldn't expect. And so, yeah, I love prompt generators. They are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So speaking as someone who has recently been working on a game powered by tarot, I know that a tarot deck with the minor arcana has 56 cards, not 54 cards.
Mm-hmm.
Not 52. So there's a little part of me that's wondering which card got left out whenever you were generating your prompts.
The Knights.
The Knights? Okay.
I decided that I would base the jacks on the pages.
Okay.
That I would respectfully ask the Knights to stand aside, and that I wouldn't use the majors.
Okay.
Go away, you dirty English Knigget, or I shall taunt you a second time.
Well, it is the English. I would taunt them, yeah.
No, they're on a quest. They're fine.
They're on a quest.
Yeah.
Of course not. I am French.
This is why I have this accent. I'm not going to say ridiculous accent, but
you silly English king. Yeah, we're not nerds at all.
No, not even a little bit. Not even a tiny bit.
Yeah. We're
We're all
completely
normies.
normal.
Absolutely normal about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I wrote, actually, the first Carta game was before the Carta SRD, was Apex Predator, because I wanted to make a Monster Hunter solo game very, very badly, because I'm normal about Monster Hunter. And then for the Winter Jam, I wrote Into the Glacier using a variation on the same rule set. And that was when I realized that actually it was pretty easy to work with. And I boiled down all of the rules and kind of some tips and tricks and some ideas for additional mechanics. I put those in a document, and that became the Carta SRD.
Into the Glacier, that makes me want to think of I can think of a Lovecraftian eldritch horror, kind of beyond the mountains of madness.
Yeah, I was going to say that is literally the plot of what little plot it has of Mountains of Madness. Yeah.
Yes.
Into the Glacier is kind of a Grimm's fairy tale thing. It's it's fairy tale, but it's not without an edge to it. I like Into the Glacier. It was inspired by the Great Glacier sequence in Final Fantasy VII.
Awesome, yes.
One of the random prompts have you pick up a fist-sized round stone. So there's that actual materia in there because I'm normal about Final Fantasy II.
Final Fantasy VII was a great game.
Yeah.
Really? And the Great Glacier is a good sequence. I'll fight anyone who says otherwise.
There were a few of the games that I actually got through in last year's bundle that also used the Carta system. I think my favorite of the ones that I actually got to play was Remember the Land.
Oh my god, Remember the Land is so good.
It is. And I want to go back and play through it again using the optional rule, where rather than being someone who is fleeing the destruction of their homeland and cataloging all of the things that are lost as they go, as they watch them, crumble away, being someone who is basically a scion of the destructive power, cataloging it from the side of someone who is there to foster this destruction, to generate this destruction, and they are cataloging it as, look at all of these things that I have accomplished.
Behold my works in despair.
Yicicles.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful game.
Yeah. Another one that I played that I actually had a little bit of trouble with was it Fadadira? The one that was based off of
Majora's Mask.
Based off of Majora's Mask. That one was a little bit complex for my taste. And it takes up a lot of space. You have to have a big table in order to play that one because of the arrangement of the cards.
It's gorgeous, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But it is so beautiful.
Yeah, I played through that one as the messenger, where basically you have no combat skills or you have no weapons. Your whole thing is you are like a delivery person. And I played it as a pizza delivery guy.
Nice.
I was about to make a Futurama joke too. I really was in my heart. Even before you said pizza, I was going to. I'm so thrilled.
Yeah. Reminds me,
shreds, you say.
This Reddit post that I saw forever ago where someone was saying what they really wanted was for someone to make a 4 Rooms-esque movie about a pizza delivery guy going to 4 different houses and have the pizza delivery guy played by Rami Malek.
Oh my. I remember watching 4 Rooms. I was a sophomore. That's oh my.
My wife decided that was required watching after I moved in with her, so.
Gotcha. Strangely, I could see Kate enjoying that movie, yes. But so SRD, so would you say again this is like a world building / DMs tool then?
The SRD is a game writing toolkit.
Okay.
So the world building, that's something that the designer does for themselves. But the underlying mechanics, the underlying probabilities are either in the SRD or they're explained in the SRD, hopefully deep enough that the designer can work with them and modify them to their own tastes.
I like that. And you were saying that there's some tie-in wink wink with Wretched and Alone?
Well, last time I was on the show, I talked about how I played every single player game in the bundle for racial justice and equality. And I noticed that there were so many wretched games. So many wretched and alone games in the bundle for justice and equality. My Jenga set was busy.
I actually had to go and buy a Jenga set to play some of the games in the bundle.
Yeah,
because I didn't have one.
And that kind of made me realize that it was not only just that Chris Bissett had stumbled on something very exciting with The Wretched, which I played, which is a fantastic game, but also that a community had been built, like of people that would donate their games to this kind of bundle. And that I found really got me very intrigued, not only by solo games, which I fell in love with, but also with the idea of an SRD. And then after I wrote Into the Glacier, I realized that this could be mine. This could be the SRD that I put together, that I have a jam for, and that it could help encourage people to write a game that is not easy from a labor perspective, but easy from a understanding perspective. Like, I can use this toolkit. It's not going to be free. Like, you do have to write 52 prompts.
Okay.
But I'm going to help you understand how those cards interact with each other. I'm going to help you understand where you could or may not want to use die rolls. I'm going to help you make the decisions. You're going to bring the creative writing.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
And I'll just use the SRD for the prompts to help me write the prompts.
Yeah, if you get stuck.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody is wanting to get a hold of said SRD because they want to use it for a game they are designing, how can they go about finding and getting a hold of a copy of that?
It is on my itch page. It is at peachgardengames.itch.io, and you can find, let's see, if you scroll on down to SRDs, or RPG design tools, rather, is the section I have. You can find the Carta SRD. It is free.
Huzzah.
And
Very nice.
Lots of people have made Carta games. Lots of them. It's easily my biggest seller, to be honest with you. Carta is, even though it's free, people very regularly pay me for it. I think more often than my other games.
Yeah, James and I have been talking, or at least I've been telling him about my next game idea, which is probably going to use Carta, which involves you're playing a spirit who is trying to track down Sarah Winchester in the Winchester house.
Get her! Get her out! She can't hide forever!
So I'm getting ready to start doing research and stuff for this game, and I found out that the Winchester house actually has a virtual tour that you can pay $9 and access forever to go through, do a virtual tour of the inside of the Winchester house.
That's not a bad deal. I've been to the Winchester house physically twice. And again, depending who the tour guide is, our tour guides were very different. The first time I went, they definitely kind of played up the whole, spooky ghost, crazy Winchester lady thing. And the second time, they very much downplayed it and went more historical fact. Well, here's this. This is probably why this happened. Both were amazing tours. The house is really interesting, and just kind of Lady Winchester was daft no matter how you want to look at it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, having that kind of tour would be great. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what Ian comes up with this game, because I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
One of the nice things about the virtual tour, though, is that it includes all of the areas that are off limits to the regular tour.
Very nice, yeah.
Oh, of course, because you don't have to worry about people getting their fingers all over everything.
Right, You just have to have one curator go through and take a bunch of pictures to, facilitate the 3D virtual experience.
Yeah. There were aspects of the house, both times I went, were like, we can't go here either because they were repairing, or that, it was just like, it's kind of worn down, so we can't have a ton of foot traffic. So, no, that's awesome.
Yeah. I'm going to check that out now. Let's see who can write it faster.
Ready, set, go.
or we'll just each write a version, and then we will compare them when we're done.
Winchester reincarnated.
That would be fun. I would actually write it about the BioSci building at the University of Alberta because it was built, legend has it was built by 4 architects who did not talk to one another.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
I have been there because my cute baby sister studied bio for a while. And yeah, there are stairs that lead to nowhere. There are like entire lecture theaters in someone's closet. Like,
That's
it's a
awesome.
bizarre space.
Yeah.
Truly haunted.
Okay.
So yeah, you can find Carta for free, and you can tell it's best for stories about like exploration or like looking for something. But truly, you can you supply the ideas. You do whatever you like. Tell me all about it. Tell me all about it. I want to hear about it. But do whatever you want.
Well, that's one thing too. I mean, we've discussed over the years with a lot of role-playing games. There's a lot of focus on either combat or the social skills, which are great, but exploration really does get neglected in a lot of games. And so having the system, even if you're like building up your own game for whatever, building in, or using this for a system to develop your exploration point of the games can make the game so much more complex and a lot better.
Yeah. And to me, it's very magical because like the cards are all face down and then you turn them up and you look up what it is your character has like discovered.
Nice.
And so there is a feeling of exploration and discovery playing these games, especially if you don't read them first.
Yeah, that is my preferred way to play through a Carta game, is not to pre-read the prompts, to just dive into it blind. Because for me, the surprise of whatever the prompt is creates a more organic storyline. Because if I've read them all, then I will immediately start thinking ahead of, well, it could be this, it could be that, trying to guess what the next card is going to be and trying to plan ahead for the next step of my journey. And I really think that Carta truly shines when you truly do not know what that next step is going to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I fully agree. I really like to play one of these games and just be like, oh, I didn't know there was a prompt for this one.
All right, and we will get a link from you for the bundle once you have a link to supply for the bundle, and we will throw it in the show notes.
Yeah.
And hopefully by the 15th of January, it should be live. Hopefully.
Well, the great news is that here's the link for the bundle. It will not work until the bundle is ready to go live.
Okay.
But barring a catastrophe, this is the correct link.
Okay. Good to know.
I guess you're going to edit that out because it's not good radio, but it's true.
Here's the link. Use your imagination.
Just imagine what the link is. And there's a link to Carta in case you want to put that in the show notes.
Or,
absolutely.
If we want to plug our Discord, again, we'd love to have our listeners in our Discord, and the link's going to be in the Discord, so woohoo.
Oh, yeah, I just slapped them in general, didn't I? Well,
yeah. That's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Genius
It'll be good.
from me.
It'll be good.
Come to our Discord. Do it now.
Do it. Yeah. Come to the Discord. Come hang out.
Yeah, come to see the link that is not yet live.
Yeah,
or hopefully by the time the episode comes out and you're listening to this, the link is live. That's the whole point of this exercise.
And if you're listening to this on like a review episode, then the link's absolutely live, and hopefully this deal's still going. And if not, well, it was amazing and you missed out, and wait for next year's.
Yes, if you're listening after April 1st, sorry, the link no longer works.
But I think we've covered all the bases.
Yeah, truly.
To specify April 1st, 2025.
Yes.
Because hopefully we will still be making a podcast by April 1st, 2026.
Crossing our fingers.
Crossing our fingers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you lasted a year after I was on here last time.
Yeah.
So whatever happens, it won't be my fault.
Yes, but the current political climate of the United States was not such as it was on the last time you were on. So
you guys aren't okay, huh?
Trying to be tactful.
Yes.
You guys aren't all right down there, huh?
Again, it was... I will say that I have picked up some educational endeavors, and after November was close to immediately regretting life choices.
You say to the person who is actively trying to start a small business.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yes, we have opinions.
Yeah.
And the savvy amongst the listeners will be able to glean what our opinions are from our current and past content. Otherwise, we're not going to come out and say it right now.
No, this isn't. We're here to talk about mental health, role-playing games, single-player role-playing games, and cards.
Let's just say that the current political condition of our country makes it so that I might actually get through all of the games this year.
And again, because, I mean, even when you do feel overwhelmed, sitting down and playing a good game, even if it's 15, 20 minutes, is a good, healthy form of escapism. And there are things to do. Yeah. And sometimes you kind of need that balm to kind of step back and take a deep breath from life on occasion.
Sure beats smoking crack.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've heard good things about crack, but I do love role-playing games. So
do games, not crack.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get away from
rabbit trails,
from discussing illicit drug use.
Yeah, we're gonna get flagged on our podcast.
Yeah, I think we have
Maybe
reached.
It will be my fault. Maybe it will be my fault this time.
Yeah, I think we have reached the point of the episode where the conversation has devolved to the point that we can say the interview portion is concluded.
Sure, you can ask me more questions, but I think you're right.
So let's get into a little bit more familiar territory. As we did last time, here at the end of our interview episodes, we like to play a game that we call the Monster Mashup, where we roll some dice on a random table and create a monster on the fly. So, Kat, are you ready to participate in the mashup today?
I am so excited to participate in the mashup. I had such a good time last time.
All right, well then, let's go ahead and get started with a D4 for locomotion.
Chugga, 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 chugga.
Chugga, chugga. Here we go. Hiya. That is number 4. I've rolled the 4th number.
4, it swims.
Okay.
Ugh.
Baby shark, doop, 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 doop. Okay. You're welcome. Earworms.
Okay. Next up is a D6 for what does it eat?
Everything.
What does it eat? 5.
5, meat/carrion.
Oh, baby
Hamburgers.
Shark. Do.
Hot dogs. It swims and eats hot dogs.
Which are simultaneously meat and carrion.
Carrion.
Okay.
Don't mind me just drawing a little shark.
Next, let's go for another D6 for size. What size category is this thing?
Little. No whammies. 2.
2, it is small.
Okay.
Little.
Vampire fish. Oh, wait, no. We're not doing that this time.
No, we're not. All right, so we've got a small swimming meat eater, swimming carnivore so far. We can still be doing sharks at this point.
Yeah.
It's a baby shark.
Next up is a D8 roll for social organization.
2.
2. Its social organization is pairs. So
Okay, I'll just draw a second one real quick.
All right. And then finally one that is going to start really letting us start to congeal whatever our ideas are. Next is a D10 roll for native environment.
4?
4. Can you give me another roll, please, and tell me even or odd?
I've rolled an even number.
All right, so it is a rocky desert.
Okay. So, again, we can play fast and loose with swimming, or this could be like an oasis creature of some type, which, again, if it eats meat and carrion, being something like a scavenger or an ambushed predator would also work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could do a land shark.
Yes.
We could do land sharks, or like sand sharks.
Give your sharks little stubby legs.
Yeah.
Sand sharks happen in a lot of things where they like swim through the sand.
Yeah.
But this is specifically rocky desert, not sandy desert.
You know what this is?
Right.
This is like the false-made desert, like when you go to a theme park and it's like desert land, and it is totally eating the leftover hot dogs in the park that people drop.
Yeah. Like,
or it's one of those things where it's just so adorable that people can't help themselves but to feed it.
Yeah, it's like seagulls or squirrels.
Yeah, like
adorable seagulls.
Like one of the amusement parks near us is Dollywood, and whenever you go to Dollywood, there are ducks. and people feed popcorn to the ducks.
Oh, that's good to do.
I'm thinking the old story with the gentleman where I believe he was in the UK somewhere, but he was eating French fries and feeding a couple of them to the seagulls to get this giant flock of seagulls gathered trying to steal his fries. And he was waiting for the bus, and right before the bus leaves, he chucks his fries into the open door so the seagulls fly in as the doors close for the hour-long train ride.
Beautiful. I think we can worry about the logistics once we've learned a few more things.
Yeah,
I kind
absolutely.
of like the oasis idea. I kind of like having these little guys like lurking in an oasis, and you're like, oh, refreshment, and then they're like,
Surprise!
But again, like we're gonna roll something that's gonna completely fuck it all up anyway.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, probably. That's usually how it happens. So next up is a D12 for method of defense.
9.
It has a spear limb.
Okay, yeah, so I'm thinking like a swordfish, maybe?
Yeah, so we've made desert narwhals.
Yes, ooh, desert narwhals, I love it.
Okay, just drawing some horns on my little drawings real quick.
Who needs sandworms? We have desert narwhals.
Absolutely. Right. Now, this is the part where we might break everything. This one is another D12 for a creature type.
6.
This actually works really well. It is an elemental.
Ooh,
Oh.
yes. Yeah, so I like it. So we're swimming through, like, are we going to be, like, in the oasis, or is it, like, swimming through the sand and maybe mud with a certain moisture content?
Or
even, like,
because it is an elemental, talking D&D for a minute, earth elementals have earth glide. They can just walk through unworked stone like it's, just normal air.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's nothing at all stopping them from just phasing into the ground and swimming through the rocks.
I like it.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of me that was actually hoping we would land on elemental for that very reason.
There's also, like, again, referencing like Dune, where you have the underground aquifer. So like it's there until it like comes to the surface, and maybe that's where it hunts or seeks its prey or does whatever, and then it goes back down to those aquifers.
Yeah. So it layers in an aquifer and it goes out to hunt.
Yeah.
Or if you want to get truly silly, if you want to become truly silly, you're going to have to join me on a journey.
Okay.
I'm all for silly. Let's go.
I got backpack. Let's go.
Okay, so we've brought up water elemental. Cute. We love it. We've brought up earth elemental. Also cute. Love it. Here's my pitch. Fire elemental. You know how when it's really hot, the air gets all wavy like it's water?
Yes.
It swims in the heat haze.
Okay.
I like it. I like that a lot.
I like it. Maybe the projection limb could actually be like a small geyser.
Oh.
Maybe on that one. But no, I do like the idea of the haze.
I mean, it could also just be because it has almost like a proboscis off of the front of it. So the spear limb is actually more of a proboscis. Ooh. And just because it is a fire elemental, as it moves, just the wind resistance cools the proboscis, which causes it to harden and solidify.
Oh, I like it.
Oh.
Which is what would turn it into that spear limb.
Yeah. I could also see it kind of going, if it's on the ground, it's like it uses out to kind of go and crawl with it too, or to grab things, and then like it can, straighten it and harden it for our defense.
Yeah, so I can also see instances like where it would basically like plant itself proboscis first into the ground to like weather out a sandstorm.
Yeah.
Things like that.
I like it. Okay. We have some ideas. I like it.
Yeah, we have some ideas. The ideas are good.
Yeah.
So next up is a D20 roll for quirks.
Oh, right. The quirks. Number 7 I have rolled.
Interesting.
Is it?
Number 7 is possesses silk-producing spinnerets.
Ooh.
What? Okay, all right.
Maybe that's, again, if it's on those like mirages where like the haze, it could either use that to maybe as another form of travel or to capture water. And that's what draws prey to it. Because again, if it's in the desert and it's eating meat and carrion, water's going to be a resource such things would look for.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Or maybe it uses a spinneret to create shade, like a shaded area.
Can I make a pitch?
Yeah, of course.
It's like if we're going with my little heart and saying fire elemental, it doesn't want shade.
Okay.
No, and it doesn't want water either.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking unless it's a lure.
Oh, as a lure, that's very good. My other thought is, what if the spear limb is detached and it can do like a harpoon with it?
Okay.
I like that. Other thing, talking about a fire element with the spinnerets, it's not silk. It is tiny fibers of silica. It's glass. It's spinning glass.
Yes!
Okay, yeah, I can work with that. Yeah, that could work.
In which case, maybe we could combine that with the defending itself with spear limbs and just like it spins out these like razor sharp glass threads.
Oh, nice. Yes, well done.
Yeah, in the initial cast of this, I mean, it might, like a spider, actually weave a web that it uses as a net. It could be very rudimentary, but I can absolutely see whenever you would initially get hit by one of these, first of all, it's going to burn when it hits you because it's molten glass.
Yeah.
But because it's so fine, it would cool super quickly. And so now you've been burned, but now you have to break out through these razor sharp filaments of glass.
Yeah.
And so
I like it.
It would mess you up pretty quick.
No, I like this
Yeah.
thing. This took a good turn.
This vicious creature.
Yeah.
This thing doesn't want apples.
It does not want apples. Okay.
I have to throw away my sketch. I have to start
it might
again.
still enjoy. Apples are juicy. To quote
But they're
Ryuk,
not meat.
they are not meat. No.
Listener, I have drawn a pair of extremely adorable narwhals with shark tusks. And while they're very cute, I think the spinnerets have
What if the tusk is the spinneret?
and it spits it from there. That's
Yeah.
cute.
I mean,
So-
there's nothing to say that it only has one spear lip.
Yeah. And again, I mean, you can have that spinneret, and that glass can be kind of like, it can diffract light as it's coming off, so it can be kind of rainbow patterned.
I mean,
So now it looks like a magical narwhal.
I mean, it could be spider-like in its appearance, and each of its legs is a spear limb.
Very true.
What I'm sketching right now is something that looks like a mermaid,
Okay.
and maybe
Alright.
the spinnerets are like in the arms or hands.
The fingers, yeah.
All
and
right.
it could do like a very threatening cat's cradle. It's
yeah.
kind of what's
Yeah,
Not
I
a
mean,
terrible
that's-
idea, yeah.
That's generally what the idea is, yeah. Okay.
I think that's where my brain is, but I'm here to help. I
Okay,
don't know
so
where I'm going.
now it is time to make it weird.
Oh. I know I said this last time, but now's the time.
Yes.
Yeah. So can I get a D100 roll, please?
62.
62.
Nice.
Interesting. Increases local gravity minutely. A herd or flock can double or even triple local gravity.
Well, they do move in pairs.
Yeah. And maybe those glass filaments are so fine, and then they use that to really weigh down their prey.
And like in the desert,
and with them being fire elementals, just their natural body heat counteracts this for them. It generates lift. So it actually makes them lighter.
I can see that. The other thing, maybe they create quicksand. Like they pull gravity in a certain patch of sand, so it acts like quicksand, kind of sucks things down and into it.
can you imagine you're traversing the desert and you're being hunted by a pair of creatures that are capable of making you feel heavier?
That sucks.
Like, are
Yeah.
these like long distance stalking predators?
I mean, they could
They
well
are
be.
persistence hunters.
Yes.
These are jerks. These are bad. These ones, I don't know about these ones.
They are
Those were
not
cute.
yeah, they are not as friendly as our last attempt.
Yes.
Uh,
Our counterfeit.
yeah. So James, do you want to do the second roll or do you want me to do the second roll?
I'll get this one.
Okay.
Let's see here. I got a 57.
57. Okay. Extreme sexual dimorphism. Male and female of the species are vastly different.
Interesting.
Well, they hunt in bonded pairs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes sense that they would be dimorphic, you know, because you would have one that would be the one that actually does the capture of the prey and one that does like the flushing and herding of the prey.
Yeah. Maybe one has the spinneret and the other one affects the gravity, so they don't do both, but male, female, each does each.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, maybe. I love that. Yeah. Or maybe even their spinnerets are different. So, like, the really fine, like, net weaving and stuff, one of them can do. And the, like, huge spears of glass
Yeah.
Yeah,
to
I
go
can see
in for
that.
the kill, the other one can do.
Yeah.
I can see like the one that does the nets would be the ambush, the more stationary one, whereas the one with the actual spear projections would be the one to do the flushing.
Yeah.
Like, drive them toward where the other one is waiting, and then
Yeah.
together they do an ambush.
I like it.
Horrible. They're awful.
These are frightening, absolutely.
Yeah, these are absolutely apex predators in whatever environment they are living in.
I don't like them.
don't-
They're bad.
I don't know if they'd be apex, though, because they are small. And that is their saving
That is
grace.
true. That is
They're
true.
elementals, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are definitely going to be...
Like, if you're a rodent, these are terrifying.
Yeah, but if you're like a camel,
Yeah.
you might just ignore them.
No, I think if you're a camel, these are terrible, too, because, I mean, it's like...
Yeah, but they're more of a nuisance.
Yeah,
than
it'd be like
they are
getting a
a threat.
glass splinter in your foot. And so, I mean, that's going to totally disrupt travel.
Yeah, but like, what kind of... I mean, human beings were persistence predators
Mm-hmm.
in their natural form. And what kind of animals did they take down?
True.
Granted,
These are
yeah.
also elementals, which means they're magic creatures.
Yes.
Yeah,
So, like, I don't.
so you
I
have a
don't know.
persistence predator that has no fatigue.
Yeah.
you-
Yeah.
Yeah, your only hope is to escape their territory before they catch you.
Now, the thing with humans, though, is fortunately, unfortunately, depending on which side that coin is, the social group is larger. So these generally
Yeah.
travel in pairs, which also, I mean, they're small and they're in pairs, which makes it so they're not absolutely nightmare fuel. They're
I
scary, but they're not nightmare
Yeah.
fuel.
Yeah, I don't think that they would actually go after many creatures that are, bigger than medium sized.
Yeah.
I mean, they would, because it is meat/carrion, they would absolutely take full advantage of finding a carcass and scavenging off of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like many predators do.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Looking at you, lions.
Humans. Yeah, no, I like that. A medium-sized creature, something like...
A human.
Yeah, people. Yeah, absolutely. People-sized and smaller.
Absolutely.
Again, a bad day if you are a person taking a desert trek. These are not the critters you want to come across.
Yeah, because, they're small, which means they're about the size of like a border collie.
Yeah.
I think
And-
if they've got the terrain, large creatures are not off the menu, but they do have to have, like, complete control of the circumstances.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they will absolutely take the opportunity if they have a large creature that has been injured or is lost and dehydrated or
Yeah.
something along those lines. Something where the risk to them is lowered.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they're going to like try to isolate an individual from a herd of large creatures and try to take that down. But they will absolutely take advantage of a less than optimal large creature alone.
Yes, if it's already like wounded or dehydrated.
Yeah.
So bear with me here. Nightmare fuel / imagination. So I'm thinking things like, the tarantula, or there's various wasps that do that. But particularly if they can find a larger creature, they use that to lay their eggs or for their reproduction. And I'm thinking like geodes or crystal growths that pop up out of the carcass of this thing. So when they hatch or emerge, they have something to eat on. So like you'll be traveling down the desert and you'll just see like this carcass and it's covered with either druzy or crystal formations throughout the body of this thing. And you probably want to give that a wide berth.
You do. You
yeah. All right.
do. Oh.
So let's do a recap of what we've got. So
Not Baby Shark.
it is no longer Baby Shark.
It's no longer baby. No.
So it swims. It feeds on meat/carrion. It is small in size. It travels in pairs. Its native habitat is rocky desert. It has one or more spear limbs. It is an elemental creature type. It has silk-producing spinnerets. It is capable of increasing local gravity, and it displays extreme sexual dimorphism between male and female of the species. Now is the hard question, what do we call it?
I'm going with some of our earlier things, but I'm thinking maybe the glassfisher.
Glassfisher.
Okay.
Like the bird, the kingfisher. Though honestly, too, with the mineral thing, it could also be fissure, Fissure.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal spiders, because again, the glass and the elementals.
And because my brain is so hooked on heat haze, I'm thinking something incorporating the word shimmer might be interesting. If we
Shimmer or mirage, yeah.
Oh, mirage. Because if we can associate something threatening with that, I think.
Yeah. I don't want to go mirage spiders or shimmer spiders, but like shimmer arachnids, shimmer decapods, because I'm shiny. you need a demigod when you have a decapod, right? Oh, I'm trying to think. Arthropod, spider, arachnid, kind of trying to find something.
Combining a couple of things. What about something like a haze fisher?
Haze fisher would be great. A shimmer spark.
Fisher.
I do like haze fisher. That sounds good.
Yeah.
My heart is also thinking of the word stalker.
Okay. So a mirage stalker would work really well.
Yeah, it's a little clunkety, but it conveys what I'm trying to convey.
Well, shimmer stalker flows better.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Shine stalker.
Shine stalker. I think shimmer stalker fits a little better.
Yeah,
I have the
shine has a little bit of a. It produces light.
Yeah.
Kind of feel to it.
Haze hunter.
Yeah, haze hunter could work too. Yeah.
Yeah, I like haze hunter.
Yeah, something like.
Now it does have extreme sexual dimorphism,
so it could have two names.
Yeah, you could have separate names.
They didn't know it was the same creature till recently.
Yeah. So like the one that ambushes is the shimmer stalker, and the one that flushes is the haze hunter.
I like that. Yeah, that fits really well. Well done.
Yeah.
¿Por qué no los dos?
¿Por qué no los dos? And then they're like, yeah, we found out recently that these are actually like fire elementals.
That's like there's a parrot called Neclectus, and they come in two colors. One's like a really vibrant green, the other's a really vibrant red. And for a long time, they thought they were two separate species, and they're actually just male and female of the same species of bird.
Oh yeah, it happens. That happens with astonishing frequency.
Yeah.
There are also creatures that, like, in different phases of their life cycle, were thought to be completely different creatures.
Yes.
We've been doing biology far longer than we've been qualified.
Fair, very fair.
I'd argue
that qualified.
Yeah, truly, truly. It's like they come from. The more I think about these things, it's like they come from an elemental plane, but they have these like fusion abilities between like earth and fire that truly do make them so upsetting.
Well, there is the para-elemental plane of magma.
Yeah.
So,
they might be from there, yeah.
You know what? These could be like magma methods that got stranded here, and they have just
since evolved.
Yeah, well, they've had a very small population, so they've been, inbreeding basically as they procreate through the generations, and we're like 60, 70 generations down the line where they have become a completely different thing because of their environment.
Yeah.
That was something I was thinking. These are like the lap dogs of Balrog. Like it's its favorite pets.
I want to go really bananas on the dimorphism because we didn't really settle on what they look like, and I'm back to Por qué no los dos, where like maybe the male of the species is very spider-like and covered in like shining glass threads.
Okay.
And bristles. And very spidery. And then maybe my more like mermaidy, swimmy on air, more anthropomorphic version is the female of the species, and don't think about that too much.
That would work. I'm thinking with the spider, it would almost look like a crystal tarantula.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like a trapdoor spider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's like the male of the species is a spider, and the female of the species is like a horrible, horrible creature that is vaguely humanoid, but not humanoid enough for you to want to talk to it.
And that would play into having that ancient ancestor being a mephit, because the mephits are vaguely humanoid.
Humanoid. I like it.
Yeah. And it's got
Okay.
the swimmy tail, and maybe like they can both swim, but it's more pronounced in the Haze Hunter because she is the active hunter.
Okay.
Right. And the Shimmer Stalker, it's almost one of those things where it's like the spiders that make the parachute webs,
Yeah.
and it rides the wind to fly.
Yeah.
This makes sense too, because again, with animals with sexual dimorphism, generally the one that has more mates is the larger. So I'm thinking you have this large female, you have a lot of potential males that are running around that are smaller. If you read like the older descriptions, or even in the Odyssey, the descriptions of the sirens,
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
humanoid-ish, but they had that voice, and maybe this thing uses her voice to call in the males as well, and so people listen to this too, and then they get swarmed by these glass tarantula things, just hundreds of them. They generally pair by two,
Yeah.
but again, she can
Right.
call in loads.
And I see this as probably one of those instances where when they do procreate, there are far more males than females in a clutch.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the males are all competing with each other.
Yeah.
And so the female picks the one that she thinks is the strongest, and then the other males will challenge that one. And if they are able to, eliminate the male, then the female just picks them up as her next consort, basically. And so the males are just facilitating the survival of the female.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's fully girl boss with the spear
Oh, yeah.
limbs and the
Yes.
the
Oh, yeah.
vicious stalking over miles and miles and miles of bare and brutal desert.
I'm
Yeah.
almost seeing like a Drider type situation.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
This is a terrifying creature it gets worse by the moment.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and stop at the magma drider with glass shard leg tips and just continue on into the end of
okay,
the...
no, I've got it. It swims. Hear me out.
Okay.
It's not a Drider. It's an Ursula.
Okay.
But the glass shard limb tips are real. The spinneret she manufactures and wears those.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So she looks like a spider, but actually she's a lot more woobly woobly.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
And she makes the pointy limbs out of the spinnerets to murder with,
Fair.
Or, maybe it can be a thing where when she needs to use them, these tentacular growths, she can harden the very tip of it to use as a spear.
Yeah. Because they do swim. They do
Yeah.
swim.
Yeah. Okay.
Horrible.
That is terrifying. I like it. And those glass spears have to have shatter damage with it as well.
Of course.
So on a break, you do a small area of effect like the ice knife.
Yeah.
What a
and,
horrible creature.
Persisting bleed damage.
Yes. It's terrible. I hate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one's awful.
Yeah.
Listen, I sat down and I was like, I hope I get to make another cute one. I didn't. I didn't make another cute one.
Well, it was too much to hope for two cute ones in a row.
Really was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh no.
Who knows?
Oh.
All right. So we're going to head into the end of our episode here.
What?
So, Kat, if
Yeah.
you would please give us just a recap where we can find you on the internet, what sort of things you do on the internet.
Hello.
And we already have the link to your itch store to put in the show notes, so that will go in the show notes. But yes, so if you could one last time refresh everyone's memory on who you are, what you do, and where we can find you on the internet.
Hello, I'm Kat. Lately, I haven't been doing as much podcasting, but I have done a fair bit of it in my time. I am the award-winning host king of the podcast Sort of Symphonies, and I was the choir master for Roar to Heaven. I write role-playing games that you can find at peachgardengames.itch.io or peachgardengames.com. I love to do it. I have a game coming out pretty soon this year, we're hoping, from Evil Hat. So
That's
have
nice.
done it. I've done it. Rangers of a Broken World, which is, if you want to hear what that game plays like, it's Heroic Chord from Sword of Symphonies. So do that. I also do Solo But Not Alone, which is very, very important. So if you're curious about how you can spend $10 and get a bunch of single-player games and help mental health causes, find that. You can find me on BlueSky at catlinggun. That's CATLING gun. Pew, 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 pew. I don't use Twitter anymore because it's bad.
Fair.
Yes, we have also deleted our Twitter account.
It's so good.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to us tonight. If you have any comments, suggestions, or ideas, please send us an email, undercommentaste@gmail.com, or come join us on our Discord and chat with us directly. You can find a link to our Discord as well as all of our other social media through our website at undercommentaste.com. You can also find links there to our itch store, undercommentaste.itch.io, and our Patreon, patreon.com/undercommentaste. So if you want to help support the show financially, you can go to one of those two places and either become a patron or buy one of our games.
If this is your first time listening, welcome. We're so very glad you found us. You can find our other episodes on your podcatcher of choice. Just search Under Common Taste. As always, please give us a rating and review. It does help increase our visibility. You can also join me on Mondays and Thursdays at twitch.tv/undercommontaste as I play through both Darkest Dungeon on Mondays and Neverwinter Nights on Thursdays.
Oh.
Once again, thank you, Kat, for coming back and joining us for another
fun.
episode. It's been an absolute blast. We've had a great time.
Yeah, it's been a ton of fun.
In case you haven't been able to tell from all of the laughter.
I had a great time, except even Monster bad.
Monster very bad.
Yes. Monster very unfriendly.
Yes.
So-
Not a friend.
All right.
But why friend shaped?
Why?
Is it friend shaped though? Is
Everything's
it really?
friend shaped.
I'll pet that dog.
I'm gonna pet that dog.
So stay safe, everyone. Stay away from the shimmer in the desert, and we will see you again in 2 weeks.
Happy gaming.
Why?
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Under Common Taste. Our theme song is Massacre Ann, written and performed by Mary Kroll and used with permission. You can find Mary online at marykroll.bandcamp.com or on Patreon at patreon.com/Dr. Mary C. Kroll. Our logo is by David Sutherland. You can find more of David's work on deviantart.com/David Sutherland or on instagram.com/Willex_73. We'll be back in 2 weeks, so stay safe, and we'll see you then.